Hello everyone, and welcome to this quick look at Valkyria Chronicles. And I know, this is not a recent game by any means. It was released on the PS3 back when the console just came out, and it was received with critical acclaim. And the reason why I'm doing a quick look at the game right now is simply because it has just been released on the PC. So if you're one of those who doesn't have the consoles and didn't have the opportunity to try the game, well, now you can. I'll just show you the basics. So what is Valkyria Chronicles? It's a mix between a squad war game, an FPS, an RPG, an anime series. It's a little bit of everything, and it comes together and has a lot of style. And frankly, I really love the game, and it's one of my favorite console games. So let's take a look at this. First of all, I'm not sure if you hear the music well enough, but the music in this game is really nice. It goes from epic tunes to more martial ones. It's really fitting for the game. And the game takes place in a fantasy world that is much like what happened in the Second World War on our planet. However, they introduce different races and a different kind of story, but you know, as far as historical periods go, it's pretty much Second World War. And the story is told through cutscenes, and you'll quickly notice how the art style, it looks like it's painted, and it might turn some people off, but frankly, I love it. It's really nice. I'll just give one example here, and I'll shut up and let you experience the cutscene.
What's that? Sounds like a tank.
Alrighty then. So yes, the story is revealed through these types of cutscenes, and as you can see, it reads like a book. And once you've gone through a series of cutscenes, you get battles to go through. And battles are a mix of turn-based and real-time. I'll show you a skirmish. As you advance through the story, you unlock skirmishes. Skirmishes are basically what you can use to grind levels if you need to do so, or if you just feel like it. Otherwise, you gain experience through battle. So before I do the skirmish, I'll go to the headquarters. Alright. So right now I'm at the beginning of the game, so not every option is available to me, but you have R&D where you can improve, for example, your weapons, your armor, your tank.
Welcome, bro! I'm stoked you're here, man. What can I do you for?
And you can outfit your tank. So since I'm pretty much at the beginning, I only have 3 parts, and as you can see on the right, well, you have 12 spaces that you can use for different items that you want to put on your tank, and they come in a variety of sizes and shapes, so you end up doing some Tetris-like messing around, trying to outfit your tank the best way possible. Sometimes you can find in battles unique weapons that you can use. However, most of the time, they're not really worth it. There are some exceptions, though.
Come back again!
Then you have the squad barracks, where you can organize your squad, the training field where you can spend your experience, which I will do right now.
Welcome to your worst nightmare, maggots!
Damn straight.
Train all you want. I've got all day.
But I don't have enough experience to do so. So yes, you have 5 different classes, which I will explain in more detail later on. And you can level them up to level 20. However, as you level them up, it takes more experience to do so, and it's usually a better idea to just spread your experience around instead of just focusing on one class. But scouts tend to be pretty damn good in that game, so I like to boost them up as much as possible. Alright, so let's see. Let's boost my snipers a little bit. Yay!
I got no use for tears. Sweat, sweat, sweat.
And as...
Good work, maggots.
Oop.
You're one level closer to human.
That's good. So yes, as they level up, the stats of your soldiers go up. So hit points, for example, accuracy, that sort of stuff. The movement rate, I think, as well. Anyway, so it's very important to level them up. And as you level them up, you will gain various bonuses. So here I will just boost 3 of them in one go. And that will probably unlock something.
Bite the bullet. No pain, no gain. Good work, maggots. You're one level closer to human. Looks like that session beat a new potential out of the shock troopers.
That's great.
Okay, you've earned clearance for a new order. Put it to good use out there.
Awesome. So you can learn
Come
potentials
back anytime you're ready to sweat.
and orders. Orders, you use them during battle. I will talk about them a little bit later. So let's go to the squad barracks, so I can talk about the different classes. So you have one tank. I think you get a second one later on, but you have one main tank for your commander, and it's treated as its own class, basically. And then you have the scouts, the shock troopers, the lancers, the engineers, and the snipers. Alright, so let's start with the scouts. Scouts are extremely good in this game. They have very, very good movement rate. They can spot enemies from afar. And of course, as far as armament goes, they're a bit on the weak side. But still, they're extremely good at getting close to the enemy, shooting them in the head. Now, most of the time, you'll want to have several scouts handy just to survive. Then you have the shock troopers, who are basically the grunts. So they use machine guns, so they can do a lot of damage in a very short time. but they're not very accurate. And they can usually take quite a bit of punishment, but not that much. Now the Lancers are the anti-tank troops. So they have very little ammo, but they can do a lot of damage to armored troops. And they are also very resistant to explosions. So they can be really useful. Then the engineers, they're pretty weak. They're like weak scouts. However, they can replenish another soldier's ammunition, so it's very nice to have one close to a lancer, for example, so that they can give them more ammunition to shoot those tanks. And they can also repair tanks or create sandbags in certain spots, disarm mines. You know, they can be really useful, but they're rather weak overall. And finally, the snipers. I love my snipers. Of course, you have troubles, you shoot people in the head from afar. And I love it. Anyway, so let's just take one example here. Alicia Melchiot, which you encounter during the prologue. As you can see, you can see the weapon she's using. She has a grenade. The ragnade is basically a sort of med kit. And at the bottom, you can see her likes. So when she's near a character that she likes, usually she will get bonuses to her stats. And one very important thing, when we leveled up our classes earlier, you don't level characters up, you level classes up. So every scout that I have is level 6. So that way you can just grab the soldiers that you prefer. So you don't have to try and level everyone up at the same time. Cuts down on the grinding, you know? And let's see. Here you see her potentials. So potentials can be strengths or weaknesses. For example, country bred. So when she's on bare dirt, there's a good chance she'll get a boost in accuracy. Or there you go. When any of her close friends are nearby, the desire to protect drives all of her abilities up, etc., etc. So some are really good, others are really bad. So sometimes you won't want a certain soldier on your team because, let's say, they're allergic to sand or something like that, and it's a desert mission. So sometimes you have to pick and choose your soldiers depending on where you're fighting or what the mission is. Alright, so every character has those potentials, and as you level your classes up, you unlock more of them, and each character also has one specific potential that is unique to them, but I can't remember how to unlock them. Alright, so I will just show a quick skirmish to give you an idea of what combat feels like.
Here is a brief on the task at hand.
Are introduced like this, with a briefing. Since it's the first skirmish, it's really simple and short. Whoops, sorry. Objectives. So enemy base camp is captured. Failure if the tank is destroyed. Enemies occupy our base camp. All our soldiers and reserves are killed. Or it takes 20 turns. Of course, it won't take 20 turns, it will take 1 turn. So let's position a few units. Some units give command points. So it's a very good idea to have them on the map at all times. But you don't have to use all the troops that you can. It's usually preferable to do so, just in case that you have some trouble with one or two troops. But most of the time, you can handicap yourself if you want to, if you find that the game
Now,
is
let's
too-
begin the
too
operation.
easy.
I'm confident victory is within reach.
Yes, it is. Now,
Let's drive these Imperials back out of Gallia! Squad 7, move out!
let's do this. So as I said, combat is a mix of turn-based and real-time. So when you're here on the command screen, you can give orders. You see the CPs at the top, the shields, the golden shields. These are the movements that you have to use in one turn. And as I said, different units can give you command points. For example, here the tank gives us 1, that shock trooper gives us 1, here as well a lancer, and Alicia. So Alicia, Largo, Rosie, and Welkin always give you a command point. But Marina doesn't. Still, I think. Alright,
Here we go!
so once you select a unit, you then start going
Please head for the objective.
in real time. But once you decide to aim, then you become turn-based, basically. It's like you're pausing the game. So the red units are leaders that give the enemy command points. So it's a good idea to destroy them as soon as possible.
Just keep up this pace.
Take that!
Front lines, return fire.
So tanks are really good at taking damage. But if you get hit from the back, where
Don't go out
you
alone.
see
Back
here,
each other up.
that blue stuff, then your hit points go get into trouble really fast, basically.
The hunt begins.
All right. Scout. Shock Trooper. There we go. That's a guy I want to take out. So yeah, that part is easy since you can take all your time to try and get a headshot. And there I go.
Sweet dreams.
You're doing. I'm on it.
There we go. I'll send her to take care of one of the shock troopers.
Go down.
Good job, Rosie.
Mwah.
And then we will send the one who will
My
finish
turn,
the
okay?
mission in one turn. Alicia. She's an incredibly good character.
Do you still have sufficient ammo?
Good.
Now.
So when an enemy is crouched, they take far less damage, so it's better to blow up the sandbags there they are hiding behind. That way,
Down, everybody be careful.
it's far less difficult to take care of them afterwards. And I will be able to finish. So you can use a character more than once during one turn. However, if you look at the bottom right of the screen, the yellow bar is her movement. So on her first turn, she had full movement. So the second time she has like 2/3, third time she has like 1/3, and it goes down and down and down. So you can still use the same character to wipe out the whole map, but at some point they just can't move around anymore.
Moving out!
There we go. And he's down. So it's always better to shoot people in the head,
Target silenced. Head for the next one.
unless you don't have a choice. And thus, the skirmish is over.
Operation complete. We took their base.
So of course missions will differ in difficulty, for example, like in any other war game you will have different objectives, so it varies a lot. So you get experience and research points depending on how fast you finish the mission and the number of enemy leaders and aces, tanks that you defeat. This is where one of the game's problems surfaces. You only get the best result if you're fast. So even if you're really good at keeping your troops out of danger, your score will be lower if you take 1 or 2 turns more than if you had just rushed to the end. So you don't really have a choice if you want to have the best results for every mission to just go gung-ho and go for the objective right away. Still, it's really enjoyable. Since you have the skirmishes, you can farm for experience if you need or if you want. So you can basically tackle the game the way you want, at the speed you want. I don't remember how many chapters the story has, but it's pretty nice. I really enjoyed the story. Of course, if you don't like anime, you might not like this, because it's presented like an anime. But frankly, it's one of those games that comes along really rarely, and it leaves a pretty deep impression on you. So it's one of those that I enjoy playing from time to time, just to reminisce. It's really good. I highly recommend it. The game is about $20 on Steam, and it might sound like a bit much for an older game, but it's worth every penny. Believe me. Since it's a Sega game, I don't think you'll see many sales for that game. So if you're waiting for one, not sure you'll get one. Anyway, you might want to check a Let's Play or two to see if it's really for you, but I highly recommend it, and I hope you'll try it. So, I hope this video was useful to you, and I'll see you next time.